Now we'll hear Brady Ellis speaking about finance automation to manifest the mission. Brady, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Olga. So excited to get to share a little bit about Branch's story. We were founded just a few years ago and generated our first revenue dollar in the summer of 2019. So a very, very young company. When I joined the team just about 2 years ago as the first person in finance, accounting, or even like data analysis, we were just a team of 30. And we've since then grown to be a quite substantially large, quickly growing startup firm in the insurtech space. But we're driven by this mission. It's underlying every single thing that we do. And every person at Branch, hopefully, when you ask what the mission is, it's to make insurance less expensive so more people can become insured. It's motivating. We actually have it built into who we are legally. We're a Delaware Public Benefits Corporation committed to providing people with more access to insurance coverage that's affordable. To do this, a lot of what we need to believe in our finance team is that we can run more efficiently and drive more value with the amount of money that we're given to spend on different things like headcount and consulting resources and just generally providing a good product to the rest of our company. Not to mention, insurance is by far one of the most complicated industries in the United States and definitely around the world as well. Thinking about the different risk segmentation and where we're actively selling policies and how we acquire our business and all of these different complex things that we're thinking about, the FP&A team can step in to provide clarity and insight and data to make everyone feel more confident about what they're doing. And that's what we're on the mission to do, to make insurance less expensive by helping the rest of our operating team run more efficiently and effectively while we run efficiently and effectively. So if you look to the next slide, talk a little bit about how we did it and what we're still on the path towards doing. We started with our data, and keeping in mind that this is a really small team. We actually really kicked off our finance team, our FP&A function, just about a year ago. And so for those 25% of people who said, well, we don't really have automation built in, you can definitely see how different sizes of companies have different resources. And I get to speak from the side of, we didn't have a ton of resources going into this right off the bat. We started with just one employee and an intern and a really dedicated group excited to invest into building automations, building ways for us to bring in data and put it out the other side. Now, the first step is, how do you get the data in one spot? And so we worked with our CTO to develop this data lake, which we have a cloud server data lake that brings in all sorts of different data points, stuff from our accounting GL, our HR information system, just random manual CSVs that we upload every once in a while, because bit by bit, you start with something manual and can move to automated a lot easier if you know how to do it manual first. And then we have stuff from our own internal product systems, how we sell our business every day. That's not just financial data, it's our operational data. How do we work together? And what we did is we started to empower people with access to this wealth of information to say, how are you going to take all this information and project the future of our business in our FP&A tool? If you jump into the next slide a little on how we went through those steps, we started with getting our data environment set up. Do we know how the data is connected? Can we work with our engineering team, our IT team, to make sure we know what's going on? A great example that I'll talk a little bit about through this process is our sales team. They were a mighty team of 3 when I first joined, and now are a much larger team as well. And they were on the phones working with our customers, talking about coverage, making sure that they got a great insurance policy for their home and auto. And we needed to get them information on how they're running efficiently and how well they're doing at selling policies. Also, how many people we need on that team to project into the future to get a capacity plan built in a way that's automated and supportive. But first we had to figure out where the data is. So we looked and we pulled from our HR information system on, how many staff do we have and in what roles are they? We went and pulled from our accounting system on their sales productivity and the total payroll costs and all those different other pieces. And then we went and pulled from our phone telephony program. How many calls are they making? How many sales on those calls are they making? All these like non-financial data elements. And we put it all into a data lake to summarize all in one spot. We then got our accounting team on the phone. We said, hey, we need to understand this data better. How can we support you in what you're trying to build and do. And they got into the data environment with us. Everyone on branch's accounting and finance team gets trained in standard SQL, which is just a really basic query language that allows you to work with large structured databases. It stands for structured query language. And we gave everyone the training to be able to dive in and understand our database as well. And the most basic, like easy online trainings that anyone can have access to. And now everyone from an intern through to myself has the ability to go in and build models themselves straight out of our data environment, including our accounting team. And then we empowered all of our finance professionals to dig into that extra data layer and figure out how to plug it into our data tool that we use, which is Causal, as Chris mentioned, is a data tool that we've been really successful in navigating. If you jump into the next slide, you can kind of see a little bit and hear about where we're at. We've, in the last year, automated almost all of our P&L and significant portions of our balance sheet, seeing how can we look at the data that's in our environment, structure it in a way that makes sense, and then plug it into our tools to be able to see what does the future look like. Scenario modeling is now more accessible, where we're able to look at the changes that we might be seeing in our environment. For our sales team, if we're expecting different changes, different headwinds in the industry based on inflation that many of us are experiencing today, or other different issues that we're seeing in the environment, we're able to pivot quickly and jump into, okay, let's look at this new scenario and how the different data we're seeing is going to work. Without these automations, that would be days of work. And instead, our finance manager is able to dive right in with a couple notes from different executives on our team and say, I think I know where to start. Like, let's start poking around and seeing what we can find out from our different scenarios. And we have now a fully functioning 1 year and 5 year strategic plan that's built off of assumptions that we can constantly monitor and align around, but that gets better and better every single day by feeding it more and more of the data environment that we're building. As you can tell, that was a lot of people. That wasn't just FP&A. There's a lot of people involved from our finance team, from our accounting team, from our technology team. But in the end, having everyone on the same page together to help support our operational spaces, like our sales leader, has been a phenomenal benefit to our business. We've already seen different ways where we've been able to find new efficiency and new ways to reduce cost or to invest more in a space that's generating more results overnight, because we have everything at our fingertips to be able to learn more about our business. And with that, I think I'll turn it back to you, Olga, for us to dive into the next step.
Thank you so much, Brady, for your insightful presentation.